350 Ks on the Kenevo SL and we mullet it. So riders, let's get into it. Riders, welcome back to Sam's Bikes, where you know we only talk e-bikes, and today it's 350 Ks on the Kenevo SL. I'm a lucky guy, and I also did some back-to-back testing as a mullet and as an original 29er. So why mullet a bike? Is it just a trend? I'm gonna say definitely not. My first day out on the Kenevo SL, I was getting a buzzed ass because the big wheel was touching me on the backside and actually was quite scary because it was pushing me forward. So when you put a 27 on the back, it brings the wheel smaller so you don't get that buzzing, and also makes it a more playful bike. I hate that word in the industry, playful, but what it means is, like, when you're coming into corners, you can kind of drop that wheel into a corner quicker and easier, and it just is more like, you can just turn faster. I like a mullet, but I also like a 29er. I've got some chalk here, and I thought I'd draw some lines and just show you how much shorter a mullet is on the Kenevo. I reckon it's gonna be 2 centimeters, maybe. I'm not sure. 2 centimeters, that's a lot. No, I've got no idea how much shorter it's gonna be. So what I've done is I've got a wood at the front and a wood at the back, right on the contact points. So this will show us exactly where the first contact and the last contact of the bike is. So I'm going to draw a line here. And I also want to mention, we're going to leave the headset cup at 63.5. So let's change it to the mullet now. And of course, we're going to be doing the test on Schwalbe tires, and a massive shout out to Schwalbe, the long-term sponsor of Sam's Bikes, helping bring all these videos to you riders out there. Okay, so there we have it, the Mullet Kenevo SL. And I might have measured it a little bit wrong. It doesn't look that impressive, but I just thought if I could get the last contact point of pushing the wood hard up against the tire, it would do it. The chalk is quite thick, and we've got from edge to edge about 3 centimeters, or a little bit under, 2.7. And that will make a difference. So effectively what we're doing is we're making the chainstay or the contact area of the wheel shorter, which in return will make it more playful in and out of corners, probably a little bit less traction, and also getting this tire out of the way when it gets steep and gnarly so you don't get buzzed in the arse. I want to also say that we have gone from the low setting with the 29er to the high setting with the 27.5, and we've kept the bottom bracket from the lowest point of the guard here to the ground at around 30 centimeters. I think the 27 was a little bit under 30, but we might have changed to about 3 mil only. Anyway, riders, let's go see how the Kenevo is as a mullet and a 29er back to back at my local bike park. Let's go. First drop in on the Kenevo SL mullet. And this is going to represent halfway through my testing on the Kenevo SL. I've done about 250 Ks. I'll do my full review around 500, 700, somewhere around that. But I just wanted to do a mullet setup at the bike park because last week when I was here, or the week before, I was getting a buzzed ass. And also, with the geometry changes you can do with the new Kenevo, is why not do those changes? Why not see how it is at a mullet? I'm a geek through and through. I do love testing all this stuff, saving you riders time, money, and energy. First impressions, I am going to be going back to back because these bikes are like fine wines. You really got to do it back to back because we're picking up subtle differences. But the first thought is it's definitely more nimble, you know. Whoa, but I just got one then. You got to be careful with the pedal strikes. I reckon the Kenevo actually could benefit from 160s. You know, I understand why Specialized put 170s on it, because, you know, it's more of a pedal bike. I didn't have much of a problem. Actually, I had no problem with the 29er, but I lent it to my mate Iago for a day, and he got pedal strikes, and so did Marshall Mullet. Just did a podcast with him if you haven't heard it. A Mullet should be more nimble, but also you got to be careful because that back end can step out. Like a little bit heavy braking into a corner, the back can step out. Little drop here, another pedal strike on that pedal. As I was pedaling up to the lip, another pedal strike. Yeah, we need shorter cranks, definitely. Oh, it's nice through there. Reminiscent of the Kenevo SL. Just a little bit more playful. Definitely, I can just drop the wheel in, hang it right, hang it left, just dropping in easier. Yeah, I'm gonna say I like it. Just gotta keep those pedals up. What does this mark? This marks 250 Ks on the Kenevo. So I thought I'd come to the local bike park, do a test with the Mullet, just give you my thoughts. So, you know, if you've been watching the channel, the Kenevo SL wasn't really a bike I was that excited about. But how wrong can you get? It's so nice to have, like that, a proper downhill bike. That was a big drop then. So nice to have a proper big super enduro downhill sled now. This is my go-to. And you know why I wasn't that keen on it is because I love the Kenevo SL. But I tell you what, the Kenevo can pretty much do everything the Kenevo can do. If you haven't seen, I did the back-to-back Kenevo SL versus Kenevo SL like at 2 or 3 weeks ago at the bike park. Very interesting. But now I've given the Kenevo back and I've just had more time. Oh yeah, the Mullet is better in here. Just letting me dissect the trail more, pick those lines, weave in and out. Definitely better here. And yeah, no, this is it's my go-to bike at the moment. I do love the Gen 3. You know, I'm a lucky guy, but I am training for the EWS and I'm trying to get some more strength into the legs. So my go-to right now is the Kenevo. And you know, the other day I went out riding with the Aussie punter Nick. He was on the decoy and so broken through there. He was on the decoy and I was on the Kenevo SL. Big fitness levels difference. Whoa! Came in a bit hot then, Sambo. We ended up riding together, no problems. We both ran out of the battery at about the same time. Little jump here, one cranking over. And it was really good, you know, like, yeah, Nick probably goes out and rides 3 times a month, and I'm riding 3 times a week, so different in fitness. But you can definitely, like, it's definitely doable. I think my average heart rate was like 145. Nick was more like 130. So yeah, I worked harder, but definitely doable. And I'm just, oh shit, this is gonna hurt. Oh! That's a big old drop. Through to the big doubles now. There's the black run. Nice and easy flow through there. All right, so that represents 2 hours on the Mullet. We're back in the woods here. It's time to go do the back-to-back testing. All right, dropping straight back in. Now on straight 29ers on the Kenevo, back-to-back, as you know. And let's just ride it now for 2 hours, and I'll give you my thoughts after. But let's get back into the Kenevo. Man, it's so nice to have a downhill bike, a proper downhill bike or a super enduro bike. I've really been enjoying it. I big it up saying, oh yeah, a good rider can ride a 160, 150. And you can, but it's definitely nicer to ride a big bike. Okay, so the Mullet, the straight 29er is definitely feeling more stable, more traction through those long corners. I've actually got used to the sizing. So I'm 183 centimeters on a good day, and I'm riding an S4. And the reach on the S4 is 485. And I found that quite a long bike. I've actually gone back to a 40mm stem. And if you're right in between sizes, I definitely would recommend going to sit on one. And if you can, test one. The $1 million question, full fat, Levo. I'm definitely going to sell it like this. You know, we have the benefits of testing a lot of these bikes. Big drop there. Definitely go out and try and test a full fat, a half power, because you know they are really different, and everyone's different, every rider's different. That's why there's so many bikes in the market. But really quickly, if you want an all-rounder that can do a bit of everything and you're not really fit, or you are going to be riding with a lot of people on full power, go the Gen 3 or go a full powered e-bike. But if you are a purist and you want that natural feeling of a mountain bike, go the Kenevo or the ENDURO SL, because it really does remind me why I got into this sport. I love both bikes, and if you're going to be doing more bike park, bigger riding, more aggressive stuff, I'd say the Kenevo. But if you're going to be doing more trail riding and you like to play with the bikes more, then the ENDURO SL is your bike. But as I said, riders, go to your local dealer, try and test them. It's a lot of money. You want to get it right. All right, so we're into the black run on the 29er Kenevo SL. And I have to say, I reckon it's feeling more stable, getting better brake, better rollover. Definitely more stable through that, which almost bucked me off. It's probably going to be the last run of the day. We hate saying that. Now, I have been singing the praise a lot of the Kenevo, but let's talk about a few things I don't really like about the Kenevo. Because of the suspension design, I reckon the seat post could go down just a little bit lower. It'd be really nice if Fox or one of the other brands, Fox or RockShox, could make a dropper that would just sit into the frame a little bit lower. That might happen. And also the high speed rebound is really difficult to access. Kind of next to impossible out in the trails. You need a long Allen key. Yeah, it's not really Specialized's fault because, you know, this bike would have been in development for years, probably 2 years, 3 years. And Fox just changed where the high speed rebound is in the shock. For me, I reckon I'm right kind of in between an S3 and an S4. I'm really liking the S4, but if I could bring it back just a little bit, I think for me, for my fit, it would be nicer, maybe like 470, 475. But yeah, I mean, what am I running? I'm running a 32 mil stem on here, so I have brought it back quite a bit. I don't know what else. Oh, well, maybe the price. It's not a cheap bike. But you know, you're paying for what you're getting. It's, in my opinion, it's more or less, I mean, you've got the Rottweiler, but you're more or less, there's not many full powered super enduro 170 bad big hitting e-mountain bikes on the market at the moment, super lights. So you know, you're gonna have to cough it up if it's definitely worth it. For me, the Levo SL and the Kenevo SL are just such dynamic bikes to ride. They really are. You definitely earn it, but they're for those people that aren't ready to go full powered, that don't want to lose some of the, it is a different feeling being on a full powered e-bike. It is. And I've really enjoyed getting fitter on this bike and really enjoyed just doing laps and like really be able to control the bike more.
Okay, riders, 350 Ks, thoughts on the Kenevo SL, and is it better as a Mullet or an original 29er? Look, I think both have merits. The Mullet setup was more playful. I know I hate that word. I didn't get a buzzed ass, but I did get quite a few pedal strikes. You know, I think probably the Mullet's gonna be better for someone that is riding steep, tight, techie stuff, because the 29er Kenevo is a pretty long bike. If you're riding really tight and steep stuff, you might prefer it as a Mullet. You're definitely gonna have to change it to 160 cranks. And I actually think I wouldn't mind trying 160 cranks just with the 29er. I think there might be something there. For me, I think I prefer it as a 29er. I just found more traction. I actually have adjusted my body position. I'm not getting a buzzed ass. I only got that on the first day. It came down to traction for me, rollover, stability, and I don't really ride really tight technical stuff with switchbacks. So I think it's better as a 29er, but definitely with the adjustable geometry. And if you do have a spare 27 wheel at home, give it a go. It was super interesting and it's not bad. It's not really cut and dry. And now let's talk Kenevo SL versus Levo SL. I know I've done the back-to-back testing, but it wasn't really super clear for me. I liked both bikes. But now having 350 Ks on the Kenevo SL, it's definitely a clear winner for the Kenevo SL for me, because the Kenevo SL is a better trail bike than the Levo SL is a downhill super enduro bike. And you know, the Kenevo can pretty much do everything, but it's just so much fun having a big, super hard hitting enduro rig downhill bike. I love how the suspension floats over everything. It's a super dynamic feeling bike and I really enjoy it. And another question I get all the time, Kenevo SL or Gen 3 or a full powered e-bike? I'm gonna say for me, I've really enjoyed the super lights, the Levo SL and the Kenevo SL. I'm more of a purist. I like to suffer. I've got a lot fitter riding those bikes, and I like the feeling of these bikes. They do feel like a normal mountain bike, where a full powered e-bike does feel like an electric mountain bike. There is a difference. I'm not saying it's better or worse, but for me, I prefer it. But you know, you are gonna work for that. If you are gonna go the super light, you are gonna work harder. And it's definitely not a walk in the park. You definitely get fitter. and you can ride it with full powered e-bikes. But if you are gonna go out with a super fit group on full powered e-bikes, you're gonna suffer, maybe you can't do that. But if you are relatively fit and you go out with a normal group of riders, you can do it, but make sure you definitely get the extender, because you will be in trail or turbo the whole time. And I did mention the sizing. I'm 183 centimeters and I'm riding the S4. I kind of thought I could go an S3, but with the reach on an S3 of 460 and on the S4 485, I reckon I'm happier on the S4. I wouldn't mind trying the S3, but if you are the type of rider that likes a smaller bike, you could size down on the Kenevo. It is a pretty big bike. I think I'm pretty happy with the S4 with a 32mm stem, because I have brought it back from a 50. And riders, that's pretty much it for the 350 thoughts of the Kenevo. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Share it with like-minded people and stay safe out there. And I'm gonna see you next week.